Hello and welcome to the topic laws of conservation. Bodies forming a mechanical system may interact with one another and with bodies not belonging to the given system. Accordingly, the forces acting on the bodies of the system can be divided into internal and external ones. One can define internal forces as the forces with which a given body is acted upon by the other bodies of the system, and the external forces as those produced by the action of bodies not belonging to the systems. If external forces are absent, the relevant system is called closed. There are functions of the coordinates and velocities of the particles. A particle means a point particle, forming a system for closed systems that retain constant values upon motion. These functions are termed as motion integrals. The number of motion integrals that can be formed for a system of n particles between which there are no rigid constraints is 6n minus 1. There are three additive motion integrals. The first is called energy, the second momentum, and the third angular momentum. Thus, for physical quantities do not change in closed systems, namely mass, energy, momentum, and angular momentum. Accordingly, there are four laws of conservation, that of mass conservation, energy conservation, momentum conservation, and that of angular momentum conservation. These laws are closely associated with the fundamental properties of space and time. In the following sessions, we shall obtain the laws of conservation on the basis of Newton's equations. However, we may note that the laws of conservation remain strictly correct even when Newton's laws, particularly third law, are violated. We may note that the laws of energy, momentum, and angular momentum conservation are accurate laws that are also strictly obeyed in the relativistic realm. Laws of conservation of mass. Newtonian mechanics contends that, first one, the mass of body does not depend on the velocity of its motion, and second one, the mass of an isolated system of bodies or particles does not change with any processes occurring within the system. The latter is called the law of conservation of mass. However, as a result of many experiments with high energy particles such as fast electrons and protons produced by modern accelerations or found in cosmic rays, it is found that the mass of the particles varies with the velocity according to the relation m is equal to m naught divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square, let it be equation number 1, where m naught is called the rest mass of the particles, since m naught is the value of m when v is equal to 0, that is, when the particle is at rest relative to the observer. The mass given by equation 1 is called the effective mass, that is the value which must be used when the velocity of the particle is 0 relative to the observer. We may note that the total energy of a system also remains constant during any physical change. According to the theory of relativity, mass and energy are essentially the same. Obviously, it asserts that mass and energy are interconvertible. This has been established experimentally. This means that we have to think of mass energy conservation and not mass conservation and energy conservation independently. The relation between mass and energy is given by Einstein's mass energy equation. E is equal to mc square, let it be equation number 2. Here E is the total energy obtained on complete conversion of a mass m into energy E, and c is the velocity of light in vacuum. Equation 2 has been verified in a number of nuclear reactions, example nuclear fission and fusion. Law of conservation of energy. One cannot easily define the word energy itself. However, we are familiar with various forms of energy like kinetic energy, gravitational energy, electromagnetic energy, etc., which we can define precisely quantitatively. We know that one form of energy can be transformed into another form and that the total energy in any physical process remains conserved. The conservation law of energy becomes a useful concept in mechanics for solving several problems where the exact dynamics is always not known. Kinetic energy of a system of particles. Let us consider a system of two particles of mass m1 and m2 subject to the external forces F1 and F2 and to the internal forces F12 and F21. At a particular instant, the particles are at positions as shown in figure 1 and move with velocities v1 and v2 along their paths c1 and c2 respectively. The kinetic energy of particle 1 is 1 by 2 m1 v1 square and that of particle 2 is 1 by 2 m2 v2 square. Obviously, the kinetic energy of the system of two particles is Ek is equal to 1 by 2 into m1 v1 square plus 1 by 2 into m2 v2 square. We know that the change in kinetic energy of a particle is equal to the work done by the forces applied to the particle. The same must be true for a system of particles. However, in the case of a system of particles, we have to distinguish between the work done by the external forces and that done by the internal forces. Obviously, we can see that the change in kinetic energy of a system of particles is equal to the work done on the system by the internal and external forces, that is Ek minus Ekp is equal to W external plus W internal. If dr1 and dr2 represent the displacement of the particles during a certain time interval dt, the work done by external forces when the system goes from state A to state B is W external is equal to integral from A to B F1 dot dr1 plus F2 dot dr2. We may note that each part of the integral is computed along the path of the respective particle. The work done by the internal forces is given by W internal is equal to integral from A to B F12 dot dr1 plus F21 dot dr2. But since F12 is equal to minus F21, W internal is equal to integral from A to B F12 dot d of r1 dot r2. Writing r12 is equal to r1 minus r2, we may write W internal is equal to integral from A to B F12 dot dr12, which clearly shows that the work done by the internal forces depends on the relative displacement of the particle. We may note that the above result is obtained for two particles, but can easily extend it to a system composed of any number of particles. Principle of conservation of momentum. Suppose a particle of mass m has a velocity v at a time t and a velocity v dash at a time t dash. The change in velocity during the time interval delta t is equal to t dash minus t is delta v is equal to v dash minus v, and the change in the momentum is delta p is equal to delta mv, which is equal to m into delta v. Let it be equation number 1, since mass m of the particle is constant. Now, suppose if we have two particles of masses m1 and m2 interacting with each other, so that m1 into delta v1 is equal to minus m2 into delta v2, let it be equation number 2, holds, we may instead write delta p1 is equal to minus delta p2, let it be equation number 3. Obviously, for two interacting particles, the change in momentum of one particle in a certain time interval is equal and opposite to the change in momentum of the other during the same time interval. This means that an interaction produces an exchange of momentum. That is, the momentum lost by one of the interacting particles is equal to the momentum gained by the other. The change in momentum of particle 1 in the time interval t is delta p1 is equal to p1 dash minus p1, and the change on momentum of particle 2 is delta p2 is equal to p2 dash minus p2. Therefore, we can write equation 3 as p1 dash minus p1 is equal to minus of p2 dash minus p2, which is equal to minus p2 dash plus p2. Rearranging the above, one may write p1 dash plus p2 dash is equal to p1 plus p2. Obviously, the left hand side is the total momentum of the system of two particles at time t dash, and the right hand side is the total momentum at time t. Concluding, we can say that no matter what the times t and t dash are, the total momentum remains the same. In other words, the total momentum of a system of two particles that are subject to only their mutual interaction remains constant. P1 plus P2 is equal to constant. This result constitutes the principle of conservation of momentum, which is one of the most fundamental and universal principles of physics. Although the above stated principle considers only two particles, this principle holds for any number of particles forming as isolated systems. That is, particles that are subject only to their own mutual interactions and not to interactions with their parts of the world. Therefore, the principle of conservation of momentum in its general form says that the total momentum of a closed or isolated system of particles or an extended object does not change in the course of time, that is, it is constant. P is equal to summation I Pi is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus etc. is equal to constant. This is one of the fundamental laws of nature and follows from the homogeneity of space. No exception to this general principle are known. The principle of conservation of momentum shows that the interaction of bodies composing of a closed system leads only to an exchange in momentum between the bodies, but does not affect the motion of the system as a whole. It should be noted that the momentum also remains constant for an unclosed system, provided that the sum of the external forces is 0. dP divided by dF is equal to summation I varies from 1 to n Fi. Let it be equation number 4. When the sum of the external forces does not equal 0, but the projection of this sum on a certain direction does equal 0, the component of the momentum in this direction is conserved. Indeed, upon projecting all the quantities of equation 4 onto a certain direction x, we find that dpx divided by dt is equal to summation I varies from 1 to n Fxi. The principle of conservation of momentum shows that the interaction of bodies composition a closed system leads only to an exchange in momentum between the bodies, but does not affect the motion of the system as a whole. Upon any interaction between the bodies making up a closed system, the velocity of the center of mass of the system does not change. That is, dvc divided by dt is equal to 0, where vc is the velocity of the center of mass. Obviously, the momentum of a system of particles can be represented as the product of the total mass of particles and velocity of the center of mass of the system. P is equal to m into vc. Law of conservation of angular momentum. The angular momentum of a particle relative to given point is a vector quantity, that is L is equal to r cross p, which is equal to m into r cross v. We also know that the angular momentum is related to the torque tau is equal to r cross f of the applied force by dl divided by dt is equal to tau. Now, we look at the situation when not one but several particles are present. Let us consider an extended system of n particles. The total angular momentum of the system is defined as the vector sum of angular momentum of individual particle about the point O, the fixed reference point, that is L is equal to L1 plus L2 plus etc. plus Ln. L is equal to summation I varies from 1 to n, Ri cross Mi Vi, let it be equation number 1, where Mi, Ri, Vi denote the mass, position and velocity of the nth particle about O. The coordinate system at reference point O is an inertial system. Let the position vector of Cm, that is center of mass of the system at any instant, is Rcm with respect to O. Then we can write Ri is equal to Rcm plus Ri dash and Vi is equal to Vcm plus Vi dash, where Ri dash and Vi dash are the position and velocity vector of ith particle with respect to center of mass Cm. Thus, we have L is equal to summation I Mi into Rcm plus Ri dash cross Vcm plus Vi dash, that is equal to Rcm cross M Vcm plus Rcm cross summation I Mi Vi dash cross summation I Mi Ri dash cross Vcm plus summation I Ri dash cross Mi Vi dash, where M is equal to summation Mi is the total mass of the system. By definition, in the Cm frame, we have summation I Mi Ri dash is equal to 0, which is equal to summation I Mi Vi dash. Thus, the angular momentum of the extended system about an arbitrary but fixed reference point O is given as L is equal to Lcm plus Rcm plus M into Vcm. Let it be equation number 2, where Lcm is equal to summation I Ri dash cross Pi dash. Let it be equation number 3. Is the intrinsic angular momentum of an extended system of all the particles about its center of mass. The second term on right hand side of equation 2 denotes the angular momentum associated with the motion of Cm about a reference point O, that is as if a particle of mass m is moving with center of mass. Now, we shall find law of conservation of angular momentum by considering an extended system. For this purpose, we shall differentiate equation 1. dl divided by dt is equal to d by dt of summation I Ri cross Mi Vi, that is equal to summation I Ri Mi into dVi by dt. We have Mi is equal to dVi divided by dt, which is equal to Fi plus summation L varies from 1 to n Fil, where Fil is the external force on the ith particle and small fil is the internal force of the mutual interaction due to lth particle on the ith particle. Thus, dl divided by dt is equal to summation I Ri cross Fi plus summation I summation L Ri cross Fil. Let it be equation number 4. The double summation on the right of equation 4 contains pairwise terms such as Ri minus Fil plus Rk cross Fli is equal to Ri minus Rl cross Fil, where Fli is equal to minus Fil has been used. We may note that its relative vector Ri minus Rl lies along the line joining the two particles, then each pair above vanishes. That is, Ri minus Rl cross Fil is equal to 0 for all I and L. We thus finally obtain the relation dl divided by dt is equal to summation I Ri cross Fi, which is equal to tau. This equation shows that the time derivative of the angular momentum equal to the net torque tau due to external forces acting on the system about the point O. In the absence of external forces, dl divided by dt is equal to 0, that is tau is equal to 0. Hence, L is constant for a closed system. This statement is the content of law of angular momentum conservation, which is formulated as follows. the angular momentum of a closed system of point particles remains constant. Now we examine equation 2. Differentiating equation 2, we get dl divided by dt is equal to dlcm divided by dt plus rcm cross m into dvcm divided by dt, or dlcm divided by dt is equal to summation I ri cross li minus rcm cross f, where f is equal to summation fi is the net external force acting on the system. Now writing rcm plus ri dash for ri, we get dlcm divided by dt is equal to summation I rcm cross ri dash cross fi minus rcm cross f, that is equal to summation ri dash cross fi is equal to tau cm. Let it be equation number 5. The above result shows that irrespective of the acceleration of cm of the system produced by external forces on the system, the rate of change of intrinsic angular momentum about cm is equal to the net torque due to external forces about cm. Obviously, if tau cm is equal to 0, LCM is conserved. Equation 5 is valid for the cm even if it is not at rest in an inertial frame of reference. We may note that the angular momentum also remains constant for an unclosed system provided that the total moment of the external force equals 0. When the sum of the moments of the external forces relative to an axis equals 0, the angular momentum of the system relative to this axis remains constant. Uses of laws of conservation. The laws of conservation are a powerful means of research. It is often extremely difficult to accurately solve equations of motion. In these cases, laws of conservation permit us to obtain numerous important data on how mechanical phenomena proceed without having to solve equations of motion. The laws of conservation do not depend on the nature of the acting forces. This is why they can help us obtain important information on the behavior of mechanical systems even when the forces are unknown. Let me summarize this session. The conservation of energy is based on the uniformity of time, that is the equivalence of all moments of time. We may understand this equivalence in the sense that the substitution of the moment of time t2 for the moment of time t1 without a change in the values of the coordinates and velocities of the particles does not change the mechanical properties of a system. The conservation of momentum is based on the uniformity of space, that is identical properties of space at all points. We may understand this in the sense that translation of a closed system from one place in space to another without changing the mutual arrangement and velocities of the particles does not change the mechanical properties of the system. The conservation of angular momentum is based on the isotropy of space, that is the identical properties of space in all directions. We may understand this in the sense that rotation of a closed system as a whole does not affect its mechanical properties. Now you can try to answer the following questions. First one, what do you understand by the conservation of mass? Second one, show that the conservation of energy follows from the homogeneity of time and Newton's second law of motion. Third one, what are the uses of the laws of conservation? Fourth one, show that the total angular momentum of an isolated system of particles is conserved. Fifth one, explain motion integrals. Let me suggest a few books for your further reference. First one, Thermal Physics, 2nd edition by Charles Kittel and Herbert Kromer. Second one, Fundamental of College Physics, 2nd edition by Peter J. Nolan. Third one, The Variational Principles of Mechanics by Cornelius Lanczos. And fourth one, Engineering Mechanics by McGill and King. Hope that you have enjoyed this session. We will meet again with another topic. Thank you.